I don't know how you classify my posts. I don't know if my post can be classified as moving, as motivational, as inspiring. But one thing that I do aim to do is to be honest, is to tell the truth, my truth. And even if I feel uncomfortable about what I'm saying or about exposing that aspect of myself, I try speak it in the hopes that it will benefit someone at the end of the day. And today is one of those days where I'm having to share something or wanting to share my current experience. So that when someone listens to this post, when someone hears it, they'll realize, okay, fine, people go through this. These things happen. People have these thoughts, and it's normal, and it's okay, and I'll make it. Today I'm heading back to the ship. If you've had a conversation with me within the last 10 months, within the last year, you would know that I was adamant that this was the last place or the last thing that I would ever find myself having to do. Going back to the ship was not an option. I had decided that I was done with it. I decided it was no longer for me. It was never part of my lifelong plan. I didn't want to be hitting 10 years on the ship. Heck, I didn't even want to hit 5 years on the ship. But yet here I am, faced with the reality that I'm going back. There's so many emotions that went with this decision. So many emotions. I got angry, I got anxious, I got sad, I got mad, got a little bit excited. But within the last 10 months, the one thing that I hadn't even thought about was working back on the ship. That was the furthest thing in my mind. I'd let it go. I had really let it go. I still had hopes of traveling, of impacting lives around the world, but at the crux of it, I had let it go. Unfortunately, the situation in my country as it stands is not the most favorable for many people. And what I had hoped for hasn't come to fulfillment. And it's very frustrating. And I think every so often in our lives, in the different stages of our lives, we get to points where we realize, okay, now I'm a teenager. Now I'm a young lady. Now I am a woman. And I think this is one of those decisions that I made that make me realize that now I'm an adult. Because part of the reason, or part of the thing that makes you an adult is the reality or the fact that your decision is your decision. You live with it. And in spite of other people's best wishes, in spite of what they might have hoped for you, you have to do what you feel is mentally best for you. So I went on ahead and I had been applying for so many jobs. My goodness, I applied for so many jobs. Initially I was applying for jobs that I felt was what I needed to be doing, where I needed to be at. I thought I was doing the right thing. I really did. And I applied for all these jobs that I was technically qualified for. I just never had experience in it. And I got so many regrettably, unfortunately, and time kept moving by, and I got so many unfortunately at this moment, regrettably at this time. I'm thinking, okay, all right, maybe that's not the way to go. Maybe let me try another angle. And then I personalized my CV, I personalized my cover letter to each individual job. And then that wasn't working out, and time was moving, and then obviously you grow anxious. I grew anxious, and then I applied for teaching jobs, which is what I was qualified and had solid experience in. I thought for sure something will come up. I applied, I applied, I applied, and once again, regrettably, unfortunately, at this moment, however, we will not be going through it. Like, what? I actually have experience in this. I actually have qualifications in this. How can you tell me that, unfortunately? And you know, as much as I am usually a very self-assured person, my self-worth was taking a bit of a hit. I won't lie, I won't sugarcoat it. Then you start wondering, maybe I'm not as amazing as I thought I was. Maybe I'm not as outstanding as I thought I was. Maybe my cause wasn't as great as I thought it was. And I thought, okay, it's all right. I'll still apply for those. I'll still apply for the social work jobs. But okay, let me diversify. You know, you start telling yourself, let me diversify. And I started applying for hotel jobs, like an entertainer on a at a resort, an entertainer at a hotel, and things that I am qualified for, things I have had experience in doing, nothing. Absolutely nothing. Regrettably, unfortunately, at this moment, it really, really did mess with my mind. And the situation in the country was getting progressively worse. It was really beginning to frustrate me. My bank balance was getting lower and lower. And then I just thought, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I don't know what's expected of me. I got angry at God because I said, God, I am leaving so I can do stuff for you. I don't want to do stuff for me. I want to do stuff for you. But I guess I had ordained the time and not God. And that's a tough pill to swallow, that even in your own life, if you've trusted Him, you need to trust Him all the way, in spite of His timing. And so, with that in mind, I then put in an application. I sent an email to the head office from the ships, and I said, okay, what's the harm? At this point in time, really, honestly, what is the harm? And so I spoke to them, and they said, yeah, sure, it would be great. Would love to have you back. I have applied for so many things. And that was the most positive response. It was beyond positive. It wasn't just, yeah, thank you for your interest. We will process your paperwork and we will get you back in the system. It was, thank you. It's amazing. It'll be great to have you back. They welcomed me back with open arms. And I thought, okay, fine. And then we have certain paperwork that we need to process, and that had expired, and I needed the money to do that. And I'm thinking, oh my goodness, that's another stressful thing, because it's a lot of money. And if I do this money and I don't get a post, then what have I done? I was honestly, my trust in planning had gone out the window. So I did it. And honestly, applying for the ships, reapplying for my medicals and whatnot was the easiest thing. And within a few weeks, within about 3 weeks, I had processed all my paperwork. I informed them that everything is in order. And within a week, I got the job and I was ready to fly out, and here we are. I wish I could tell you that the revelation that I got is, I wish I could tell you that, in spite of everything, you need to keep persevering, because I have no because. I have no revelation. I have no enlightenment at this moment in time. What I do know, though, is that I'm Kudzai Chirenga, in spite of my situation. And I try and give the best that I can in every situation. So as difficult as this has all been, as soul crushing in some points, I took a hit. I honestly took a hit, not just in as much of energy that I've lost, but I took a hit in terms of who I am as a person. I don't know, whatever it was, really got chipped right over me, whether it's pride, whatever arrogance, whatever it was, it took a hit. I think for the very first time in my life, I am still. I'm not trying to make my own plan. I'm not trying, and I'm too far in the game in terms of my faith to start doubting God, because He has brought me so much further in my life for me to start saying, you know what, maybe God isn't for me. Maybe it's too late for that. I'm very invested in that. It's like I won't fault God. But what I will do is be still. And I think this is the very first time in my life that I am still. And I'm just trying to do the best I can with the situation that I'm in. And that's what we have to do sometimes, is just make the best of what we feel like is a terrible decision. I don't know what the future holds. I could go and have a meltdown when I get onto the ship. I could go and have the time of my life when I get onto the ship. But all I know is that I can only take this a day at a time. I can only focus on a day at a time. Anything else beyond that is just way too hard for me right now.